There we go. I think we're now ready to get started. So let's discuss, I guess, the plan of action. We'll listen to a little bit of music actually during this. So we have only one dungeon left for the true ending. In fact, we've set it up so that we are literally right before the triggering point of the true ending. So just to give a rough breakdown, we're going to be seeing a lot of cutscenes because this one has quite a prelude before we get to the final dungeon. And in it, we're going to be seeing some familiar bosses if you watch the normal ending playthrough. However, we'll have a unique final boss, so that's always nice. And from there, I think that's about all we're really planning to do today. We might mess around with things outside of Valkyrie profile, but from the Valkyrie profile standpoint, that's all I'm looking to do. Chat, let's jump into it. Let's beat the game. One thing I was saying before the stream itself officially started, I did finally figure out a way to disable the sound. We'll probably show that off at the end of the stream. But that portion probably won't be recorded. Let's go ahead and I guess go back to this one. I was just looking at these two save files. I guess I could just override the bottom one. I don't want to make too many more saves. So this is going to allow me to replay certain cutscenes. Oh, okay. I thought I had switched the discs. Apparently not. Give me a second, chat. I mean, I always like seeing the art of the Switch disc, so for me, I consider that a win. So as a reminder, we were told to go find the other earring from Lucian. My brain is calculating where it was. Was this the place I'm looking for? It is. Okay, great. If you remember, the very beginning of the game, I said I wasn't going to go here. But now we are, so let's go ahead and read the description. Weeping lilies dot this gorge, but their lovely fragrance is poison. Beautiful and deadly, the villagers know enough not to stop and smell the flowers. Well, apparently not the Platina from the beginning of the game, as she stopped and smelled the flowers. Exactly, chat. So strap yourselves in. We're in cutscene territory for a while.
It wasn't really the earring that I wanted to give you, but I thought if you accepted it, maybe. No, I know that you'll figure out where the other earring is.
Here? How did I... How did this earring? In any case, its sparkle will no doubt soon be dimmed. Here it is next... Bloodied. What a strange way to phrase that. I don't know why she spoke like that suddenly. That actually threw me off. Lucian. To quote Platina. Speaking of which. Lucian? Platina flashbacks, no. I got some bad news for you, Chris. You're gonna be hearing Platina soon. Lucian? Oh, she actually saw him get murdered? Don't think the game was supposed to make that sound. Hopefully it'll be okay.
The seal!
I mean, I think it was supposed to make a sound for breaking the seal, but not that one.
She has regained her memories?
Yes, but
Just as planned, eh?
Yes. The security is operating normally.
I see.
The seal will not break.
What is this sudden pain? Uh-oh. The Dark Valkyrie. It's you. Help me, Mistina Arngrim. Help me. I'm gonna say Placinia's looking a little different. Looking a little more like Chris chat. I mean, Arngrim might help, but Mistina, yeah, Mistina's kind of a stretch. I agree with you, Chris. What's happening? Stay back, Arngrim. Something's not right. Yeah, we called Mistina instead of Jolanda. Of course something's not right. Mistina, who is that? Oh, I like the portrait for Harist. Jolanda probably wouldn't help either. She would go if Arngrim went. You know that's true. I am the Valkyrie. From now on, you two shall obey me. You've got to be kidding. I don't even know who you are. I'm disappointed, Arngrim. After all we've been through in our fight against the vampire Brahms, how could you have forgotten me so easily? So, I like that this game implies a lot of character history, but I do feel like I wish this was a bit more frequent, I would say, throughout the game. Like, when we went to Brahms, we were given the fact that we had history with him before and we didn't recognize him. And we could kind of piece together that Chris and Arngrim were together. But in the first game specifically, I would have liked to have seen a little more. What? Our long battle with Brahms, it is not yet over. Silmeria, the youngest of my sisters. Brahms still holds her soul captive. Did you not know? The battle which now rages between Asira and Veneer. Once you and I fought it as a battle against the undead. Stay away from me! The real Valkyrie! What did you do with her? Did you not hear me? Do not make me tell you a third time. Pledge your obedience to me now. I am the eldest daughter, Hrist. My sister, Lenneth, who you know so well, will not be returning to this world. Silmeria. It's probably for the best she's in the crystal chat. Lenneth? That's the Valkyrie's real name? That's right. I am one of the 3 goddesses of destiny. My sister and I control the transmigration of souls. It was my sister, Lenneth, who Odin chose to handle this realm. But now he has judged her to be unfit for the task. Would rather it be Alicia sealed away. Silmeria wasn't that bad. You're right. You're right. No. This can't be. I can't accept that. And what do you intend to do? I love her slight smile there. I refuse to obey you. Me too. If you had been the one to ask, I would never have joined you. Obey you? You've got to be kidding. I see. An earring. I have no need of foolish trinkets. Dramatic toss. Lenneth shouts, no! Lenneth, So you're not yet fully asleep. Lady Loki says, this is my game. I love Lizard. We're going to be seeing Lizard soon, actually. You're very lucky, Lady Loki. Hope you're doing well. I suppose I will let you live. After all, there really is nowhere for you to go if you die anyway. These wisps? Can it be? I don't believe this. What is it? What are these lights? They're fragments of Lenneth's soul, but they're starting to dissipate. What? Can't we do something? Misty, grease the atmosphere around them. That voice. Spirits of air and frost, by the ceremony of joining, I doth bid thee join together and freeze the four spatial dimensions. Speak of the creep. Impressive. Welcome back, Lizard. Lizard, what do you want? Show yourself. Let's get this over with. Wait a minute. Is this dialogue out of order? Why did she shout, show yourself when he's right there? I feel like this was supposed to be a bit earlier in the script. Ancient magics are difficult to command. These teleportation spells take such a ridiculously long time to cast. There we go. Now I assume you'll agree to a truce. What's important now is that we save Valkyrie. At least we can all agree on that. Christina ... dots him and goes, bastard. You've played this and beaten it. Hopefully you had a good time with it. We're gonna go for a mostly spoiler-free talk of the game, but we are fortunately at the end, so you could talk about most things. But if you know a way to save her... Of course I do. For now, I love the do not want face that he has there. We should return to your laboratory. We will talk there. Fine, but now that I see you, what happened to you? Ah, do you like my spirit form? My physical body was getting in the way, so I rid myself of it, just like you. I didn't get killed on purpose. You're insane. He just shrugs. I think that's an appropriate response. So, what's the plan? That, of course. Hold on, that's insane. You want to put Valkyrie in that tiny little homunculus. The soul has suffered too much degradation. There's no other way. Lizard, this sounds a bit too convenient. Are you sure you aren't doing this to serve your own goals? I mean, she's not wrong. And your goal, wasn't it to take God and human, then? Gotta tell you, Liam O'Brien voice work for Lizard should have been here too, but that's my opinion. Oh, from Valkyrie Profile 2. Oh, also, that I have to admit right here, as I was looking at the chat, I looked at the profile of Lizard there. That's a pretty great image, I'm not gonna lie. What's that around his head? Like the circular swish lines. Is it just like a motion line, I guess, maybe? Or is it actually an object? Assuming it's supposed to be a motion line. You don't believe me? Come now. We really have the time for quarrels amongst friends. Oh, look at that, chat. We're going full anime in the bottom left. Who's your friend? Also, who's your friend? In any case, this soul is highly degraded. Degraded. Her memories, her personality, I simply can't guarantee what will become of them. In fact, the soul is so incomplete, I fear we must act immediately. You don't say. It's clear that she needs immediate attention. He does have a point. Hello, Yentos. Hello, Reen. Hope you're both doing well. Fine, I understand. Lizard, if you try and pull anything wacky, you're going down. My. I never thought that I would invoke the lost magic of soul transfusion in a place such as this. Misty, you understand, don't you? This incantation has the possibility of disjoining body and soul at any time. Sure, I got it. And don't think I'm your serving wench or anything here. Sorry to hear that, Reen. Hopefully things go better. The baby hands on Lizard. It's true, he does have tiny hands. Then let us begin.
Body, mind, soul, all are sheared away. If to serve this purpose I shall be despised, my body scorched and blackened, so be it. If to serve this purpose I must command forbidden magics, so be it. Though my body may be tainted, though my soul may be tainted, I imbue thee with thought. I swear as the gods swear, and breathe life into the void.
Did it really work? Ah, she's coming too. Look. So this is the magic of soul transfusion. So, is Valkyrie going to be safe for the time being? This is nothing but an emergency stopgap. I cannot say what has actually become of her soul. This period is critical. For one thing, we must retrieve her true vessel as soon as possible. Hello, Two Dog. Thank you for the support. Definitely. That Valkyrie called Hrist. That's right. We've got to go take her down. Come on. We know where to find her. I was like, do they know where to find her? Oh, the Castle Brahms. I guess that kind of makes sense. The Castle of Brahms, King of the Vampires. Very well. I think things are mostly going fine, Two Dog. Hopefully work goes smoothly for you. Well, this gets stranger and stranger. The confrontation between Hrist and I is fated. But what are you lot doing here? Valkyrie was burdened with a false destiny by the gods. And that is the result. If at all possible, I prefer to forge my own path through life, then call it destiny once the cards have settled. That's right. We will not allow Valkyrie's existence to be negated. Ah, now I understand. The soul within this vessel is not the true Valkyrie. Chris laughs. Did I not already tell you? We three are one. Which of us is the true Valkyrie? There really is no answer. True? We don't care who the true one is. You shut out Valkyrie's soul. That's all we care about. Do you miss her? Our viewpoints on the matter differ. If Lenneth did in fact stand in support of you humans, her existence will surely be annihilated by Lord Odin. That is all you need to know. We will not allow it. It'll be taking her body back, if you don't mind. Ongrim, exclamation mark, exclamation marks. This is what I know. Rist, elder sister of the three goddesses who govern destiny. That vessel cannot convey your true powers. It is plain to me that you still sleep, and have not yet fully awakened. Perhaps it was too early to come visit me. Press ... There is no question that our battle demands a conclusion. Yet have you so little respect for it, that you challenge me in such an incomplete state? That is nonsense. What place have you to say such things? You who hide behind Silmeria, coward. Arngrim. Fate is a curious thing, is it not? What? That you and I should be joining forces to fight against Rist. Come, let us put her back to sleep for a bit longer. She comes uninvited by us all. I lend you my strength.
I beseech you, for me, do not die! Ha!
So I do like that you get to play with the villains within the story. We have Brahms at a pretty high amount of health, but Arngrim outshines him because it's Arngrim, of course. We also have Blizzard here. Out of curiosity, what spells does he even know? Okay, some pretty solid ones. I don't know what his default spell is, but we'll find out in a moment.
Feel the power of darkness. Finishing strike. Bloody curse. Farewell.
My sorcery is invincible.
Hello, the Calvisium. Hope you're doing well.
This is impossible! You creatures are but slaves of the gods! Ah!
See, Hris did not appreciate the one-shot. Yeah, she was way too easy. I know they were worried Arngrim and Mystina wouldn't be like the right level. But yeah, she needed to have at least like quadruple the health minimum. Jason Games is very similar to your own, Calvisium. That's good to hear. Hopefully you enjoy whatever RPGs we end up playing. And/or action games. But we're getting to the end of this one. Well then, thanks. Arngrim, is there nothing you wish to ask me? I don't care. It's got nothing to do with who I am now anyway. Huh. I see. You're right. You have other things to be concerned with at the moment. I guess you could say that. Did I see the new Valkyrie? Bits and pieces. I kind of have low hopes for it, to be honest. But we'll probably talk about that more at the end of the stream. If you're gonna stick around until then. Very well. Perhaps we shall meet again, as we have in the past. What a freak. I was gonna say, I don't think you saw it, but I didn't exactly have the best of times with Valkyrie Profile 2. So after that, I feel kind of jaded towards those games. Yeah. I think Lizard not being in it is probably for the best. I really would like a different time period than the ones that they've shown previously. Well, we better hurry. Right. You mustn't let her thaw out. She might go bad. Ugh. You're sick, Lizard. Lady Valkyrie is not a fish. Hearsay. Oh then, the method is just as I described. Got it. Oh, heresy. Yeah, we were talking about how to get the true ending earlier, Calvisium. It's definitely meant to be done in a second playthrough. Like, it gives you enough hints. I feel like... Okay, let's have a brief aside here, because I think I mentioned this in other streams. I feel like people don't understand the mechanic, so people will say it's a lot harder to do than they think it is, but it's actually really easy once you realize what the mechanic is. It gives you a hint all the way at the end of the game, so it's not intended for you to see it through a first playthrough. Now, I will say, for the most part, that unfortunately it means like not interacting with certain things, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's pretty easy to lower the seal rating. It's a lot easier than you think. All you have to do is just literally not send anybody to Valhalla. You could send like a couple people in the early chapters if you want, but if you're looking to optimize it, like in this playthrough, you do have to kind of route it out. Yeah, like you can see there's a difference between I also want to draw a conclusion there. It was items and the people you send are two different things. They affect two different stats. I think that's another thing people get confused. So I just wanted to address that real quick. So whenever we don't send an item to Odin, that's evaluation. Whenever we recruit somebody and then don't send them to Valhalla, that lowers the seal. So all you have to do is just recruit people and not bother sending them to Valhalla. You just throw them some items every now and then. That's it. That's all you need for the true ending. It's actually not too bad. Honestly, outside of the first two chapters, I don't feel like a lot of the things Odin gives you for transferring people is even worth it. I will say probably the first two chapters, it might be worth doing it. Some events and not using the ring also drops it, right? The only one that's kind of complicated to figure out is probably Lucian. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that one's probably the most 50-50. And you had a limited time to train them. I actually don't feel like it's that hard to train them. I'm sorry we're going into a big aside here, but honestly, like, we're playing hard mode, and it only takes me, like, one dungeon to send them. They only need to be, like, level 8. Like, honestly speaking, like, I really didn't find that much of an issue. I mean, I guess if you don't keep the items that Odin sends, but again, that's more of a on you thing. Because once you get the Emerald Necklace, it's, like, super easy to get anything you want with the game, and then after that, you'll get, like, Bracelets of Zoe. But yeah, I would say probably the hardest part that I think is probably a little unfair might be Lucian. Otherwise, like, you could kind of observe the seal system, and it gives you a hint to that, but I don't think it gives you a hint for Lucian. Like, the fact that you should send him, because you would think you would keep him based off of how the ending went. Like, you would think you would keep him to get to this point, but you have to send him. I feel like that's probably the most counterintuitive part, and I will fully agree with that. I don't like that. I understand for the rest of the ending why you have to send him, but from the standpoint of like, if you haven't seen the ending before, why you would need to do that, I don't know if that would make sense. You have the bonus XP. Actually, the Calvation, we haven't even used the bonus XP outside of, like, like, just capping off a level. But anyway, we'll continue on with the cutscene. Yeah, exactly. I would say he's probably... I think they did that on purpose so you wouldn't accidentally go into the ending, but I don't think they gave you enough of a hint to send him. Because they gave you a hint about the seal rating at the end of the normal ending, but I don't think they talk about Lucian, so I feel like that's probably the weakest part, for sure. Valkyrie. Did it work? Yeah, we'll show you how much bonus XP I have later, Calvisium. Unfortunately, we will be in cutscenes for quite a while. Yes, without a question. Are you alright? She's grasping her head. Valkyrie? Something seems to be odd. It's you, Lazard. It's okay. It's just you, Lazard.
The death of a loved one. For they that remain, the wounds grow deeper and deeper. They that remain grow weaker and weaker, and agony incomparable, their hearts in bondage. Who is the one that remains? And who is the one who departed?
I don't want to be left alone again. A long time ago, she died and left me alone.
You can't just leave me.
Will you be the one to die this time? Is that truly acceptable?
You have the game for PSP? Nice.
No! Wake up! I won't have it! You want to forget? Would you forget me too, Platina?
Lucian?
How is choosing a servant any different from picking a flower?
Aren't you just a death goddess?
Was I picking souls as though I was picking flowers?
I'm curious if that line plays if you never recruit that character.
What is a Valkyrie? Am I merely a death goddess? Cannot possibly believe that love can exist between humans and gods.
You really don't have any idea what you are, do you?
We always used to play here, the two of us. My best friend. This was her house. I knew it. You look exactly like her. It was my fault if I hadn't brought her with me. It wasn't really the earring that I wanted to give you, but I thought if you accepted it, maybe...
within illusions, and when the illusion fades, the truth will still resonate within you.
Oh, Calvision, I have a lot to talk about with Valkyrie profile too. We'll do that after this playthrough.
To reality, what should you do? Try to remember your former self. Remember how you used to feel. Remember what you used to want.
I want to keep spoilers for that game out of the playthrough of this, but
This was unforgivable.
it was unforgivable. Valkyrie shouts, "No!" There we go. She hates it. So that voice clip right there, chat, where she goes, "I hate it." I think we'll be snatching that out of the game. That way you can exclamation mark "I hate it" in the future. What have I done? Valkyrie. You preferred it to this one? Oh, Lady Loki. I want to have a talk with you after I'm done with the game. What? When I stop recording, we're gonna have a conversation. Calm down. No! Lucian gave me that earring. I want to know what you liked about the game, but I don't want to, because it's probably gonna dive into plot territory. The earring is all. It's all that I've left of Lucian. Purely because of Liam O'Brien's voice. I can't judge you for that. That's a fair point. I do like that voice actor. But I don't know if I would qualify that whole game better than this one. That's too much of a stretch for me. Lucian. Why, Lucian? Why did you have to die like that? What can I do? I cannot make amends. I cannot return him to the living.
I hate it.
Ooh, there's like 2 flavors of I hate it. Ooh. Oh, chat's gonna have some tough choices later. Do we do the one where she's in the bedroom saying I hate it? Or do we get the echoey I hate it on top of it, chat? You gotta think about it. We're definitely adding more VP voice clips for you to use in the future. Anyway, we saw Cert last time and then we murdered him. So let's see what Cert does when we're not murdering him. You must have your reasons for journeying to these icy climes. My king, I've heard that you are the one with respect for justice. If you think you can win with this war through sheer numbers, then your defeat is inevitable. What did you say? Ungir, the Sylvan Bow, and the Dragon Orb. 3 of the 4 treasures are already in Odin's hands. If you still believe you can stand victorious against such odds, then you are not truly a king, but a fool. I gotta say, I had a feeling Loki showing up for Lady Loki would elicit a positive response. I believe that the next era will not be governed by power alone, but justice. And yet, the meting out of justice, power is required. That is... correct. The Dragon Orb. However, for my own protection, I'll not hand it over so easily. I must have some security first. If you will allow me. Whatever you want. Very well, then. Suddenly Dog. Assuming that's their version of Fenrir. Oh hey, it's Dragonbane, chat. Dragonbane's canon again. I must confess, such dealings make me a bit nervous. Please permit me the presence of these 2 compatriots. The wolf Fenrir, and that dragon. Can it be? Indeed, the dragon Bloodbane, whose legends say swallowed the final of the 4 treasures. The demon sword, Levitine. Yeah, we acquired that in the other playthrough. How could you refuse? I offer you 2 treasures and 2 beasts to match. You are most generous. However, we have not fallen so low that we will raise arms together with filthy beasts and demons. Are you saying you don't need my help? That is precisely what I'm saying. Very well then. But are you truly in a position to make such hasty choices? Uh-oh, he's going final boss form, chat. When the flow of the stream is stayed, stagnation gives way to sediment, and stagnation leads to death. Cert, I shall deliver both you and Odin to the plane of non-existence. Ragnarok. Love it. Loki is doing Loki things. A word unknown to all but the divine. A word handed down from the time immemorial. A word suggesting inevitable ruin. A word meaning twilight of the gods. And yet, no augur could have predicted that which followed. Odin, half mortal, half divine, the blood of humans flows through his veins. Shunned by other gods, yet blessed by mortal blood with the ability to grow. I was gonna say, that's a very important plot point for VP2. Loki, born from a union of Aesir and Vanir, yet never accepted by either. An extraordinarily unstable soul, given to devious and brilliant cruelty, he detests all creatures. I feel like this is something it should have taught us at the beginning of the game and not in the true ending, but whatever. Valkyrie, she stands on the edge of a gorge, bisecting mortal and divine memories. Comprised of 3 psyches, her true powers remain unknown. I don't know why we're getting a primer on Valkyrie specifically. When one thinks on it, is this divine passion play not truly about fallible beings seeking to complete their own imperfect existences? Was it inevitable? So I think for the standpoint of the playthrough, we'll fight most of the enemies here.
You dare to stand here before me?
Just once I wanted to see the spear of Gungnir let loose its true power.
Oh, that's what they did with this voice actor.
Black drinks up all other colors. It is said that its jet black aura sucks in all power, and then the spear becomes even more powerful. Truly, it is much like you. Since you're one of the holders of the 4 treasures, you must know it doesn't matter how many you have.
Loki, you have gone too far. Do you truly believe you shall be forgiven?
Perhaps not.
Enough! Move away. Loki has the orb.
Valhalla is... Loki has stolen the orb.
The orb?
Yes, the dragon orb that Lord Odin took from Midgard to prepare for the coming of Ragnarok. He betrayed us. You must go to Odin's side. The war goes not well. Freya is already there.
I know, I forgot about Frey as well. Like, I thought she wasn't going to show up again. 4 treasures. The 4 worlds located in the branches of the world tree, Yggdrasil. The human world, Midgard. The world of the gods, Asgard. The world of the elves, Alfheim, the icy netherworld, Niflheim. Each realm has a treasure which ensures its peace. It is the Dragon Orb which has brought stability to the human realm, Midgard. It's like hit or miss in this game.
I think Lord Odin was planning to kill two birds with one stone. The orb has great powers, and without it, Midgard will fall into chaos. And that would also make your job easier, Lenneth.
Oh, you okay there, game?
Stop it!
Why do you say that, Lenneth?
Nothing. Forget it.
Uh-oh. Looks like Odin didn't win, chat.
Lord Odin, hold on!
Where is Loki?
You're going to go after him?
Yes.
No. First we must rally the rest of the gods, do you not think?
I no longer have to obey commands from you. The whole reason that this final battle is occurring at all is because Odin stole that orb in the first place. In other words, people are suffering. Can't we redress the wrongs?
Open your eyes, Lenneth. I know what you are planning to do. But a person's death is but a fleeting moment. I sealed your memory thinking it was best for you. Humans are born, and then after they die, they are reborn. The circle of life turns for eternity. That is the course of nature. You must not allow such human emotions to consume you. You will lose everything.
What is this everything you speak of?
Huh?
How arrogant of you. Human emotions, you say. I feel pity for all of them. I wish to save them. Parting is truly a sorrow. Why can you not show such emotions toward humans as well?
Where is Loki? I was gonna say, Platina calling out, the Death Goddess. We're gonna save on Asgard Hill. I think we'll probably just play with the party we have. Unless chat wants to see some new characters. I don't think we need that save anymore. Actually, I should have saved over this one in retrospect. Oh well, it's not a big deal, either way. I probably just lost a couple of voice clips, that's all. I don't think there's anything else we really need to do with this party. Yeah, we're talking about Experience Orb. I didn't use it. It's not relevant, honestly. I mean, it's like nice to get people to like the transfer level, but they gave you way too much bonus XP. I just want to see... Okay, so I'm set up for the 3-hit. Okay. We did beat the game, and I know our items are slightly different. It's probably okay. Okay, so I have the Creation Jewel on and not the Dimension Slip. Okay, that's the other thing I wanted to verify. Anyway, our only job is to go up. There's really not much strategy with the dungeon. If you have Dimension Slip, you can skip every encounter. I kind of want to fight some things, just because. Also, I need to remember that I actually have to hold up and not just keep platforming. Based on looks, you like So the most. You almost had him tattooed. Kind of an interesting character. I had to think about Tom Hiddleston, who that was. Hello, Rich Lich Glitch. Hope you enjoy the Valkyrie profile gameplay. And then I realized you're talking about Loki. My brain was like slowly processing that other comment, Lady Loki. So our first encounter. So let's see what they put in the...
To my side, my noble Einherjar.
Oh, that's it?
No mercy.
Oh, it's just the veneer, whatever.
I invoke the power of the glacial
This one's for the chat.
finishing strike. Icicle disaster. Icicle disaster.
Exactly.
Very existence.
Exactly, chat. Anyway, let's end the fight.
Ye must desire respite from thy empty existence. Thou shalt have it.
Oh, Rich Glitch with the animated GIF emote from Patina. I think that's at the very beginning of the game. Nice choice.
Then, did you witness my power?
I was gonna say, we're playing with the chat pick team. Because honestly, I could probably win with most teams.
Well done, everyone!
We'll be doing mostly chat pick teams, I think, for the bonus dungeon of the game. Great with the glitch voice. Yeah, whatever. I'm just looking to see if there's anything other than knights. Like, we fought a bunch of veneer. Don't really care about them. Like, I could put on the Dimension Slip, but again, if there's any other enemy type, we'll do it. Ooh, we're at another save point, so that makes me think we're gonna be fighting one of the 3 bosses that are here. So sure, we'll override this. I think if I recall correctly, I think it's Bloodbane first. Indeed it is. Unfortunately, I didn't set up my Angel Curio, so I'm actually in a little bit of danger here.
Your sins lay heavy upon you, defiler of souls. By the holy laws, you shall be obliterated.
So I triggered that fight way earlier than I wanted to. This could be very unfortunate. Yeah, because I can only swap weapons here. Let me think, chat. So this boss could wipe us, because I don't think I'm set up for a serious boss fight. I'll just wound him a bit, I guess.
I'll crush you. Feel my flame.
Oh, whatever. That's the attack I don't care about. Yeah, I love when his voice gets all, like, deep like that. He's like,
I'll crush you.
you know, things like that. I feel like that would hurt your voice to just do that consistently.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we might have to redo this one, because I went in without the right items.
What? You still breathe?
It shall be engraved upon your soul. Divine assault.
Oh, that's right. We were using the Berserker Bow on him last time. Ooh, yeah, I'm not going to do anywhere near enough damage. This is going to be brutal. Oh well. Punished for going too fast, chat.
Surely you realize
I grow tired of you.
Yeah, some of the voice lines kind of slip between, I agree. Ooh, yeah, that's nowhere near enough damage. That's brutal.
This is...
Ye must desire respite from thy empty.
So we're gonna have to rely on luck chat to first try it with the wrong weapon and also no Angel Curios. Because he has an ability that will basically just one-shot the whole party. It's a shame because I think we would kill him in like one more of those, but if he's gonna go for his AoE, which I think he will now. Oh, he didn't go for it? I'll take that. You know what? I'll take that all day. And she guts? Nice. What am I gonna do? I want to reduce the odds that I have to rely on those things. I'm gonna do this actually. Oh, I misplayed that. I should have done this first. That was a misplay. Okay, got a little bit of purple gems back in me. Nice. Okay, free damage here. So, the only person that can't combo is Arngrim. I guess that's okay.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike.
Not sure what you mean by the black orb thing.
Icicle disaster. Concede defeat, Doom.
It shall be in
I don't think that's gonna be enough damage without Arngrim. It'll be close though. So as a reminder for the mechanics of the game, every hit that we add adds 1% damage. But we lost Arngrim in the combo, so I don't think we're gonna boost our spell damage high enough. So this is where luck is gonna come into the picture. He could AoE nuke us. He's very low on health. Oh, the boss skill that almost one-shots. Yeah, I think it's like gravity pressure or something like that.
Ye must desire respite from thy empty.
Or Calamity Darkness, I forget.
Thou shalt have it.
But yeah, that'll one-shot basically everybody. I think Valkyrie is mostly immune to it, question mark, with our current gear.
Celestial star.
Yeah, dang, that's not enough damage without Arngrim.
Inconceivable!
Oh yeah, we're gonna... He's probably gonna do it here, yeah. I had a feeling. Oh, Gravity Blessing, my bad. So say goodbye to basically everybody. Yeah, I didn't do enough damage. This is where luck comes into the picture. Wow, Valkyrie didn't even take enough damage to die? Wow. Okay, we got kind of lucky there, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I will take that all day. I'm not gonna go for the kill here. I just want to reset our characters. Oh, he's doing it again. Ooh. That is unlucky. That is unlucky. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go for Hail Mary. I'm gonna have to hope that they all guts. Valkyrie should live this. Because I healed her. Oh, got him! Chat, all skill. Oh, this is gonna be so tight. Oh, I don't have enough for Valkyrie. Dang, he's not gonna die from this. He's not gonna die from this, chat. I thought I had Valkyrie. Dang. The crystals didn't go to the right characters.
So still you fight.
That is so unlucky.
Finishing strike.
Like, Arngrim actually could have killed here if he got the damage bonus.
Your time is short.
If you survive, he will heal completely. It depends on where he is. It hasn't been 10 turns, so he won't heal right away. Yeah, this is where the luck comes into play. So that's what I was worried about. We have the wrong bow, so our damage is bad on our blessings. So this is gonna be pure luck. I need somebody to guts, and we should win. But yeah, the strategy would have just been to equip our Angel Curio. So if we have to redo it, it's whatever. Did no one guts? Oh, okay. You know what? This is probably fine. I was gonna say, as long as we have somebody here. Okay, got a little lucky there. What a voice clip.
Lemia, it was you who saved me. I will not forget.
Oh, there's the Angel Curio. I mean, I probably should put one on. We are at the end of the game. Oh, it was Valkyrie with the bracelets? Oh, she wasn't. Oh, no bonus health for her. Yeah, that's how disrespectful I was. I just kept the bracelets of Zoe on. I mean, to be fair, they are really good. I should probably change their skills around slightly. We have to play Sword as seriously. Arngrim is the most likely to survive outside of Gray. Actually, this is a big question. What was his armor? Okay, so he still has the armor of Aleph. Okay, I wasn't sure if we did that in the normal playthrough or the or part of the normal ending, because the normal ending, whatever we change gear-wise, isn't here. Speaking of which, let's switch back over to the Berserker Bow. He used to heal every 2 turns. He shouldn't. It should be every 10. I don't think it's I think after 10, maybe he behaves differently, but he doesn't heal for the first time until turn 10. So there was a 0% chance, I'm pretty sure, of him healing. Actually, I had a question on this. Oh, I have enough vegetable feats to get all my noble elixirs back. That's convenient. Sure. Did a couple of these. I don't plan on really using it in the final fight that much, but you never know. What's our XP looking like? Oh, it looks like I'll probably level again. It's fine. Speaking of which... do I need poison resistance on her? I guess I could switch it out. I'm gonna be fighting somebody that does a lot of ice damage. That much I remember. So I could just give her the Angel Curio straight up if I really want to. I'm trying to remember if it was even worth using the sword. Let's go check it out. The 3-hitter. Increases as life force decreases. Oh, I know. We didn't put it on her. We put it on, yeah, we put it on Gray because it was funnier. So, one thing to do... I'm gonna go back and save, because honestly, I forget if there's a save point up ahead. I know there's one before the final boss, but before the next boss, I just don't remember. So, let's just do a quick save here. In regards to strategy, we actually have a weapon to one-shot the upcoming boss. So, chat, I'm gonna ask you an important question. Do you want me to just cheese kill the next fight, or do you actually want me to fight this fight? I'll let you think about it. I have everything I need to one-shot the upcoming boss. Like, legit, like, there's a 0% chance I will not one-shot the boss if I switch weapons. They gave that boss an unfortunate weakness to fire, and we have the Slay's Fire weakness sword, so that boss will legit die instantly. Otherwise, we can just play it as is. So if you do fight the boss legit, I realize I cannot angle my shot properly. Let's do that real quick. Melted cheese sounds good. Okay. Actually, we'll have Arngrim do it. Where is it? I know we didn't get rid of it. Where is it? There we go. So if you have Infernus, GG, boss dead. So honestly, this boss fight is pretty trivial either way. It's very similar in a sense where it's going to spam a lot of AoEs. If you don't have the treasure that makes you immune to freeze, this fight can really suck. Oh, hey, new enemies. Oh, I actually kind of want to fight you. Hold on. I'm just curious what you actually are. My sword didn't reach in time. That's unfortunate.
To my side.
I heard the sound.
Harryar.
Hello, enemy. Nice.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike.
Alright, I want to see how much more damage Valkyrie does. I know the Berserker bow is very inconsistent with its damage, but it should still be pretty high.
It shall be engraved upon your soul. Divine assault.
Speaking of inconsistent. I mean, this could kill it if it rolls high on the damage roll, I think. But I think it could do anywhere between 20,000 and like 4,000. Oh, yeah, 5,000 is not good enough.
Surely you realize.
Yep. It can go much higher. We just rolled low.
Finishing strike.
Oh well. Finishing strike, chat. Goodbye.
No problem.
So we don't really need any items from the characters. I just wanted to see what was actually here.
You have served me well, my Einherjar.
Also, easy level up before the boss battle. That's even more health for Gray. Not that health super matters in this game. I went too far in the menu. Oh, it actually resets where you position the cursor. I never paid attention to that before. Well, anyway, back to Dimension Slip. There's an animation glitch. Depending on the system. I think I wasn't paying attention to if it's happening in this particular way of playing the game, but I know on PS3 it was mostly okay. Okay, so it does give you a save before every boss fight. Anyway, here's Fenrir. Interestingly, you don't start the fight immediately like the other one. You had to get much closer, comparatively.
Your sins lay heavy upon you, defiler of souls.
By the holy laws, you shall be obliterated.
So that would have frozen me normally, and that would have been kind of annoying. Anyway, fight's over, chat. I wasn't kidding. The one-shot is real. Sorry, Fenrir. You're not a real boss.
Their souls have been released. We have no reason to remain.
I mean, if you want to level me on that, I mean, okay. Right, chat? Just shake your head. So unfair. I mean, shouldn't have given him a fire weakness, chat. That's the game's fault. Okay, I'm a little curious what that enemy is. I just want to see it. Just for sake of completion, we'll unequip the Dimension Slip. But obviously, once you have Dimension Slip, you really don't have to fight anything. Unless you really want to. Exactly, the Slayer weapons also lead to a lot of one-shots. Unfortunately, they tend to break,
No mercy.
which is why I don't tend to use them. Wow, that damage is crazy, actually.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike. Icicle disaster. What? You still breathe?
It shall be engraved upon your soul. Divine assault.
If you don't use all the attacks, they don't break. Are you sure it's all the attacks? Because I swear I've had it break on one hit before. And a lot of them are one hit, I thought. I didn't think most of them were multi-hit.
Such is your fate.
I know magic wands won't break as long as you don't use greater magic with them. They're pretty big power boost, for example.
That was too easy. What's next?
Tap guard, whatever. Mention slip. Out of curiosity. Saw one of the Slayers. Oh, I guess they are a 3-hit. I thought they were 2 and 1 hit. Maybe I'm thinking of, I might be thinking of this one. But this one doesn't break, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I love fighting the giant eye, but nah, I fought that enemy enough. That is my favorite thing to get XP from in the game. It's so fun juggling it with Bad Ratch. Well, I'll spare you guys the silly XP level ups. Yeah, basically every time you see one of those, that could potentially give me like 500,000 experience or so, by the way, chat. So I'm just willingly ignoring 500,000 experience. Like, it's fine, we don't need it. Very tempting, though. Oh man, this place would have been kind of garbage without Dimension Slip. Glad I put it back on. So I believe we're now ready for the final fight. I guess I could play more seriously? Question mark. I don't think I could double stack the power bangle, which is unfortunate. I don't think it matters if we get experience from this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and boost our power here. Where's my magic check? Oh, there it is. Yeah, those were the things I was supposed to put on before the boss battle, chat. But I forgot to do so. I could also give her the mighty check. Or instead of stun check, we could give her power bangle, I mean. Or I'm out of power bangles, never mind. I apparently never picked up a third power bangle. Oops. Whatever, not a big deal. Love using Lucian Sparks to get crystals. Yeah, so Calvicium, Lucian plus Bad Ratch equals most broken XP generation in the game. I literally have max crystals in one combo. So it's so dumb, those two characters in your party. So if you just want to power level your brains out, I cannot think of a better duo. They are just so good at giving each other infinite hits.
Loki.
Or near infinite anyway.
So you finally showed up, but it is too late. Odin is fallen and none can stop me now. Especially not pathetic pawns of Odin such as yourself.
Damn you.
Do I have replays on streams you posted? I do, actually.
Ha! Why do you hate me so? Simply because I killed that human? Oh well, now is your chance to fight me. Perhaps then you shall feel at peace.
That's the link to the YouTube. We have the whole playthrough up, I think, outside of one video.
Battle awaits us. I shall not forgive.
Why do you hate me so?
For Lucian. But no, the one I truly cannot forgive is myself.
Nice.
Icicle egg!
Ooh, some big ice damage. Unfortunately, we got rid of first aid. I don't think think I need any special strategies. Let's just go in. Ooh, our physical damage is terrible.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike.
That's kind of a problem. I'm gonna complete the combo.
Bicycle disaster.
What do I use for the capture card? When I'm using the PS3, I have a HD 60S Elgato capture card. Oh wow, we're not even able to hurt him. Not even with our strength. So I guess the play here would have been to have more mages, I guess. But it's fine. I didn't feel like looking up strategy for the final boss. I guess I'll pay for it.
Ye must desire respite from thy empty existence. Thou shalt have it. Celestial Star! What?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not supposed to... Okay, never mind. I just remembered why I don't remember his resistances. This is fine. Okay, so our goal is not really to do damage. I have to wait for something. I just remembered, chat. I mean, it's sad that we could actually probably kill him with 3 mages. Just look how much damage we did with just Jalanda. We'll just end the fight here. It's fine. End turn.
Ride and pain.
That's all he did. That's it. Yeah, there we go. This was... I had to wait for this cutscene, chat. I forgot about this. Oh, I like our parties actually there.
Is that the best you can do?
What did you say?
You cannot use your full power because your friends are here. Odin died protecting Freya, Lenneth. What about you?
True, we do need to power up.
If you use the true power of the divine treasures, the blood of heroes will be on your own hands. I live only for myself. Even holding the sacred treasure, your mercy shall prove to be your downfall.
No, I will not fail.
You have already failed.
Never.
I do like that she goes, you know, like that. I have not failed, and then immediately cuts to the scene of the world getting wiped. We're not doing so hot, chat. I know, rest in peace, that one city.
Such power! Wonderful! Yes, Lenneth, yes! That's right! Use all the power yourself. Try to protect the others and you will only guarantee your own death. Cry not, my beauty. You and I are one and the same.
I hear them.
What?
The voices of all the living souls of Midgard. And I feel them. I feel all of their pain.
What? What is this power?
Odin used to be a rather weak god indeed. In other words, gods do not grow but are static. However,
Odin was different because he's a half-elf.
that's right. Because Odin's divine blood was mixed with mortal, he has the ability to grow, just as we humans do. Do you know what my homunculi are crafted from? Correct. My homunculi are essentially half-elves. If I were to shift my soul into the body of a homunculus, might I not become a god?
This power. It is from all of you.
Look out, chat. She used the big union plume. She brought back the soul of the moss. That's my answer to that question. Side effects of the fusion of Valkyrie and the homunculus child.
The power of creation? It cannot be!
You are a taker of souls. Your power cannot be so vast.
Yes. Now I have total power.
Chocolatina.
Yes!
Oh, I just realized something that I forgot was the mechanic in this game. Well, my awareness is unlimited, unrestricted to the girl's own memory.
What is the power of creation? I have but to crush you and the world shall come to an end!
Impossible! Now I have the power to defend all.
I'll wait for the cutscene. Her other side is giving off power to protect all of existence. So I just remembered a mechanic. So, recall chat, I've been using a bow the whole game. Because it's swapped me into a sword, I'm actually missing abilities. So I'm glad I put on that Angel Curio, by the way. So, yeah, for some reason, there's like an A set and B set with your skills. I guess because to handle the fact that like the bow has unique skills from the sword. But the problem with that is it also undoes things like your first aid, your auto item, for example. And I forgot to put that back on. So unless we had that on at like chapter 2, I think we are actually gutsless at the moment. So we're gonna rely on Angel Curio, I guess.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike.
Oh, he's doing no damage. Let's see how much damage he actually does here.
Icicle disaster. Concede defeat, dude.
It shall be engraved.
Now we should have the powered up sword. I'm just curious how much it does. Okay amount.
Nibelang Valesti!
Oh, pretty good timing. And finally the level 3 version of it. The follow-up hit.
You still breathe?
I grow tired of you. Finishing strike.
1 damage, chat.
Your time is short.
I think what we'll do is we'll probably do Grey Arngrim,
You must desire respite from thy empty existence.
maybe we'll do Valkyrie last, now that her damage actually looks good. Because this should always give 100 gauge, no matter where it's used in the combo, I think. Oh, it only gets 70. Ooh.
Inconceivable.
Okay, that's a bit tighter than I thought. Oh, that did like no damage. Oh, we do have 1 character with first aid. Thank you, Gray. That's actually useful. I don't feel like using items. Plus that heals when I do mental reaction and stuff like that. Oh, Gray's combo order got messed up. Oh, because I swapped the sword. That's annoying, chat. Our combo starter got swapped to the end instead of the start. Will that kill her? Maybe? Yeah, fine though.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade.
Yeah,
Finishing
it's okay. It happens when you forget little nuances to the mechanics like that. So, for those that don't know, when he does that spirit attack on his 3rd hit, it's actually unblockable. So, I can just force myself to get a guaranteed combo with just a melee character. However, because we swap weapons, it forgot that we put that first, so it's now in the 3rd slot. Which is very unfortunate, because his first 2 hits are kind of bad.
Celestial Star!
Okay,
What?
getting closer. We have Angel Curio and Guts. I don't think we'll die.
Hark! It is an omen. As hymns resound, thou
Yeah, see, she got revived there. I think it did get rid of our guts, which is kind of scary. Ooh, she can't use items at all. Interesting. I'll just Noble Elixir this turn or whatever. It's fine. Wait, where did it put it? Oh, it's at the bottom because I ran out. Okay. We'll do that so I can finally use spells next turn, but he's pretty close to death. Find my time here. Whatever. Hopefully that gives me enough charge time to recover. Ooh, Arngrim doesn't have it. Guess that's still fine though.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike. Icicle disaster.
We'll see.
Concede defeat.
It'll do okay damage here. I don't have Arngrim for max damage, but it should still do decent damage.
Thou shalt have it.
We know it adds 70, so this should give me the guaranteed meter. So he'll probably be close to the Y in enemy if I had to guess.
You still
Maybe the H. Actually, probably closer to the H. Because her initial hits really don't do that much damage. Actually, I don't even think it's gonna reach the P. I was kind of hoping those last hits would do a bit more. Yeah, that's not a lot. Yeah, barely got to the P.
Will not fall so easily.
As soon as I saw that damage, I'm like, no way.
How wonderful this power is. Lay the apocalypse. By the power of the orb, die.
Wow, the Dragon Orb couldn't kill a single character? God, that's just kind of sad. He's just dead next turn. Probably kill Jolanda, but she should guts / revive, so it shouldn't matter. Yeah. Didn't think it would matter. Oh, I didn't have enough for Valkyrie. Well, that sucks.
Finishing strike.
It's gonna be really close. I don't know if this will kill. I thought we had Valkyrie.
Concede defeat, doomed. I grow tired of
This game is sometimes weird in that even sometimes when I have 0 CT, sometimes I can't use them. I think it like registers their hits differently. So I might have missed with Valkyrie. 'Cause I'm pretty sure she did not have CT. Like, as in waiting for CT. You can notice that in particular when you use the Holy Spell, because if the last hit of the Holy Spell doesn't hit the enemy, you can't actually use your spell on them, like the Greater Magic. It's kind of annoying. Oh, so close.
Inconceivable!
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she had a couple still, it looked like. It's fine though. But yeah, it's very annoying. It's why I don't use specific spells with the mages. They just refuse even with like 0 CT. Because they have to cast a spell to hit. They just won't combo it. It's kind of goofy like that. I think we've seen that issue with Arngrim actually quite often. Yeah, see, it got rid of my guts. That's what I was worried about. That's fine. We should still get the kill here, maybe. Oh, it's between these two characters? Never mind. We're not getting it.
How wonderful.
Yeah, like for example, if you have a 3-hit combo and you miss the 3rd hit of your melee, it won't let you join the combo. And also sometimes when you're doing the specials, Sometimes it locks you out of using other people's specials. I don't know what causes that. Where, like, I literally can see Arngrim as a choice, and sometimes he's not there. Man, that is so sad I don't have guts on Valkyrie. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Okay, I'm getting in kind of like a death loop, and none of these characters can do damage. So let's do this. Yeah, that's fine. Well, you know what? I might as well have him elixir. Fine. If he does Force Extension, that won't kill her. Or Extension Force. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, and that heal stops me from not being able to use Jolanda, so it's over. This is for the chat.
I invoke the power of the glacial blade. Finishing strike. Icicle disaster.
Goodbye.
Get thee back to Niflheim.
Curse you! I can't die here! Valkyrie!
What a death cry, chat. So yeah, so unfortunately, due to that, I'll call it oversight, it unequipped my guts from Valkyrie. So that took a bit longer than I thought.
Loki, I never understood what was inside your heart. I wonder if I'll ever be able to understand you.
I think you already do.
Lucian, shall we go?
Was Lucian always blonde? Yes? I don't know if it was that blonde, though. We're gonna see the credits for a second time. So, chat, I think we're... After the credits, we'll talk about the game. Because I feel like we've seen enough of the endings to get a final save for it. I think we'll have one more talk after we beat the bonus dungeon. But I feel from a conclusion standpoint, for people that are not interested in the bonus dungeon, but want to get the thoughts and feelings towards the game itself, we'll talk in this session how we feel about the game.
This is the Reaper's power.
I think together we will be able to find happiness.
We have reached the fin. We'll give it a few seconds because you never know with this game. The classic, is this the end of the game or is there more? If I hit start here, does it go back to the main menu? Give it a few more seconds. So I think what we're going to do, chat, we're going to talk about thoughts and feelings about the game. We're going to break down different components of it, what we feel worked with the game, what didn't work with the game, and I guess we'll talk about general recommendations. Lady Loki saying I'm going to do the final dungeon. I will do the bonus dungeon, I think, next weekend. It's quite long. I don't feel like starting it because I feel like I would probably have to leave almost immediately once I start it, which would not be great for pacing. So I think it's going to be stuck there for a little bit. So why don't we talk about those topics? So what do I feel worked with the game? Well, I feel from the standpoint of the... Oh, actually, it faded to black. It just lingered for a long time, chat.
So, the wheel of time has moved on.
I got baited.
Odin has fallen, and Valkyrie has become Lord of Creation. The promised land is born. The world is once again reborn, and all the fruits of creation are ripe with life renewed. And so, the forces of chaos that rule all are once again set into motion. I hold one half of the Lord of Creation in the palm of my hand. But the mistress of Niflheim, Hell, shall not remain silent. And that man of Midgard, he concerns me. Very well, let us go to the dark abyss. Silmeria?
If I had not sacrificed the Philosopher's Stone, I would have been consumed in the orb's final flame. I paid a high price, but life can indeed be expensive. But it was quite interesting.
Valkyrie's transformation has taught me everything. Now I have the confidence to realize my greatest dreams and ambitions. Yes! Mine is the only soul not controlled by Valkyrie. Ha! Although she has captured my soul in a different way.
What a laugh, chat. Yeah, don't worry. We'll have a bit at the
Ultimate
end
power will be mine! I swear it!
where I will turn off the recording and we can make as
By
many
my own
spoilers as we
hand,
want.
it will be mine.
Just a little longer, chat. We're almost there. Okay, is this the final scene? I honestly don't remember. I've only gotten the true ending once before on stream. So I forgot that there was an extended bit at the end. So we'll give it a courtesy 20 seconds because we waited at least 15 on the other screen and then it decided to do something after I was going to move on. So let's just give it some time, chat. So some of that is kind of followed up on in the sequel, as kind of vaguely mentioned by Calvicium, and a lot of it kind of isn't simultaneously. We'll leave it at that. Yes, this is indeed Valkyrie profile. Just making sure, hitting the classic X, start, circle. None of it seems to do anything, so we'll give it a little more time. Oops. But I think this time it is done for real, I hope. We'll give it another courtesy 10, and then I'm moving on. Okay, I feel like I've waited an appropriate amount of time. So let's go back to the Let's Chat. I'll leave the game open in case it decides it wants to do more, but... So anyway, let's talk about what we feel worked and didn't work with the game. So I feel from the standpoint of music, I really like the music throughout the game. I think it's like that classic PS1 era where I feel like it just works for me on every level. I like the way it approaches the entire chapter system of the game. I really appreciate not needing to trudge through really boring dungeons to go from location to location. So immediately starting with the ability to kind of free explore basically every area, I think is a really neat concept. I like the spiritual concentration where we get little snippets of the story before it happens. I like that a majority of the story is voiced. I think from the standpoint of the mechanics of the game, I do feel like even though it leans a lot on things that we saw, or not we saw, but at least I saw in things like Star Ocean 2, I feel like for the most part, it's pretty fun and you could kind of pick up basically anybody and they'll work. Like you still have to at least put points towards things that make sense. Guts is obviously overpowered, but you know what? I'm okay with some things being overpowered. I don't think that really ruined the experience per se. I feel like a lot of the bosses would have been very frustrating without it because they kind of have like way too much damage. So they would have had to have retuned everything to account for that. And I think the fact that they also introduce Angel Curios is good. So from the standpoint of things like the story, I did like the little character recruit scenes. It made me care about them a little bit more. I like that if you go back into some of the towns, you could get extra items, or they have interactions if you send some of them together to Valhalla. Like, for example, we saw Jolanda and Bad Ratch, even though that's not a thing I think most people will end up seeing. And I kind of like the war status. And kind of transitioning into the what I would have liked to have seen improved. I wish the war in Valhalla actually made a difference in the game. Like, yes, it gives you items for transferring people, but like the I'm winning by 30 points to I'm winning by 1 point does not really impact the normal ending at all. I would have liked to have seen it have done something. Like if you had actually bothered to be really good to Odin I would have liked to have seen more of a reward there, or at least some kind of gameplay update. Unfortunately, some of it was kind of repeating. So, like, we had a lot of events where it was just like soldier runs away, or soldier is injured, or enemy is advancing, and they kind of shared some of the ones, and that was kind of disappointing. It changes a little bit. You get from Odin. It doesn't actually. Like, you could just choose to transfer nobody, and you could still basically get the same items from Odin. He only cares about it. So that's where I want to make the delineation. He only cares about evaluation. And yes, transferring somebody does give evaluation and seal, but you can also just give him the items from the dungeon. You don't actually have to transfer anybody to get decent items. But other than that, I just feel like towards the end of the chapters in particular, there was definitely no reason to send people. Because one, the war is inconsequential, but then two, most of the items you should already have at that point. If you're playing on hard mode, there's nothing he could give you from like chapter 6 onwards that is actually useful. Like, you should already have better. In fact, by the end of chapter 5, you basically have the best gear in the game. In fact, I think you could even get your Graham. If not in chapter 5, I think you can get in chapter 6. There's honestly pretty much nothing he could give you, which is kind of disappointing. I do like the concept of the random dungeon, but I feel it's really weird that some of them just don't have any treasure in them, and that feels just kind of unfair randomly. So, a little disappointed with that. Meaning in general, if you do the things you should, you only get minor improved items. I feel like in the first 2 chapters, I will say the first 2 to 3 chapters, it's actually really good to send somebody up. Like, it's not mandatory, but he actually gives you things that are relevant in like the first 3 chapters of the game. I feel like it's like iffy from like chapters 4 to 5. And then chapter 6 onwards, it's like, no, if you've been doing the dungeons, there's pretty much nothing he could give you. Like, I think he could randomly give you a Graham in chapter 7, but you can already get those like through other means. So it's not kind of whatever. Because we got things like extra things for guts, I think, in chapter 3. So we could get the inverse of guts in case we missed it earlier. And also some decent items. He gives you a lot of ether scepters early, which are actually pretty good. It's just that they're kind of pointless by the end of the game. So he does give some decent items for sure. But also he gives you Slayer weapons early too. That's what I also mean by that. So like in chapter 3 and chapter 4, he could give you things like the Raven Slayer. But yeah, he doesn't give you anything that's like truly amazing, unfortunately. Which I guess kind of makes sense. It kind of lures you into stealing the items for yourself. So I think since the game is going to be silent for a little bit, why don't we put on the game soundtrack and we'll talk over it. Give me a second. But I think it's safe to say there's no other cutscenes. Give me 1 second, chat. That way we have something to listen to. Appropriate music. So those are the kinds of things I'd like to see improved. Now, I think for the most part, I do like the voice actors. Some of them are very cheesy, and I understand why people don't like them. A lot of them do happen to be the 4Kids dubs from the US. So I will enjoy it for its cheesiness more than some other people do. I do think some voice actors are definitely very bad. And I'm hit or miss whether or not that's bad in a good way / funny way, or just bad. And sometimes the characters kind of fluctuate between them. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag there. One other thing, I guess, in terms of improvement, I do feel like some characters were just kind of bad, and I feel like some of them were bad on purpose, but not the ones I feel that should have been like that. Like, for example, there are a lot of swordsmen and spear people, but we basically don't have a reason to use characters other than Lucian, Arngrim, a mage. Mages are kind of interchangeable. Also, I guess I wish the mages were a little different. Like, other than the familiar, it's not really a big deal if you use Magic School Bus Teacher, Lorenta versus Jolanda versus the other characters, which is like kind of fair from a mechanic standpoint because you might run out of mages. But at the same time, I wish they had like a trait or something else, because even their Purify Weird Souls are the same. So I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity there. Like minor, I don't think it was like game changing if they did it or didn't do it, but it is what it is. Now, I will say from the normal dungeon standpoint, I do like the dungeons. However, when it comes to the hard mode dungeons, I really don't like the hard mode dungeons. I feel like some of them are just kind of obtuse. Like, for example, where you just kind of have to brute force it. Like, there is no strategy. You legit just have to brute force it unless you're using a guide. Like, for example, the mathematic dungeon. I don't know how you would know what number to go to other than just trying every number and then writing down in a list where each of the numbers goes. Pachinko dungeon is one of the worst dungeons in the game. I hate that dungeon. The dungeon is so stupid. It should not be in the game. There's ones where I feel like the puzzle is fair, but it's just like, it still takes a while to do, like the Clockwork Mansion, Blind. There's some where I think the puzzles were just way too damn long. Like, for example, the Alchemy Lab. Remember the plants, chat? Remember how long that dungeon takes? It's like 40 minutes. And it's not even from combat. It's just all just the puzzle where you have to like backtrack through specific rooms. And then if you go too many rooms, or excuse me, rooms after using the acid, it undoes itself. So it's like really punishing if you mess it up, and you have to do like a very specific like 20 to 30 steps just to solve it. It's just like why? Yeah, I think that Valkyrie hits on another thing from the improvement standpoint. I think the end of the game is more story heavy, and the beginning of the game is also story heavy, but everywhere in the middle is like kind of empty. And I would have liked to have seen those tie more into a story a bit more. Like sometimes the bosses have a bit of lore behind them, but it's not like, sometimes it's just like only a couple lines. Whereas like you'll go to something like Brahm's Castle and you'll actually get like a mini cutscene, and that ultimately does potentially tie into a later plot. Where there's a lot of other ones where it's like, and now I fight the Chimera. Okay, and now I leave. And I'm like, oh, that was disappointing. So, I don't know. I do think like navigating the dungeons is a highlight. I like the freeze mechanics. I think that's very unique. I like the crystal physics for the most part. I like that there's some forms of movement between slide and run. I don't like how hard it is to get like the running momentum with how tight some of the platforms are. And that's not a huge problem in the normal dungeons. It's more like it shows up in the hard mode dungeons, like the Pachinko dungeon, where you navigate on these narrow platforms and or elevators. And if you don't get the right momentum, you just got to do it all over again. And that's where I feel like the platforming was definitely at its worst. Ironically, the hard mode dungeons, it just felt like so bad. Ladder physics were also very weird in that game. So for example, the Clockwork Mansion, trying to jump off the ladder, or that really scary floating in the sky castle dungeon, it has some really wonky physics that you don't really get to play around with a lot, and it kind of expects you to master it, given that you don't use it for like a majority of the game, and it feels kind of bad. Some characters feel like they're there to be there, more numbers. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I understand why they have to be like that. Like, again, you could run out of a mage or like a greatsword character. I do like that the characters do have like tied together sub-stories. Actually, chat, I'm getting a phone call. Awkward timing, 1 second. Okay, chat. Sorry about that. Welcome, War and Peace. Hope you're doing well. So anyway, let's get back on topic. So we were talking about characters. So for example, I do like that Cashel, Arngrim, and Laufer had like a tied together story. So it was neat to see it kind of continue as you went through the gameplay. Like you actually got to see their plot advance. And I think that was pretty good. I like that from a narrative standpoint. And it ends with, I guess, Gray, technically. So I think from a standpoint, that did work. However, I do feel like some characters got like a more proper story treatment, so I think they're always going to be the more memorable characters. Like Jerlanda, Arngrim are pretty memorable. I do like that one of the later recruitable characters shows up. I forget his name offhand, which I feel bad, but the villainous sorcerer, where he's seen torturing, I think her name is Aelia, in like chapter 4, chapter 5, and then we get him at the very tail end of the game. So I like that those kind of things were there, and it tied together the universe a little better. But I will say from like a how to improve it standpoint, I will say like, yeah, the Dragon Lady, exactly. I will say that, you know, some of the characters just kind of were one-offs. Like we had, what's her name? Nanami. A lot of the mages in particular, I feel like, are just kind of like standalone stories. The mermaid will always be memorable for the wrong reasons. You're right, Chad. Oh yeah, that reminds me, Chad. Since we're going to be picking up more voice clips for the game, if there's any really horrendous cutscene that you could remember from like the mermaid, we'll be probably adding that to the voice clips in the near future. But yeah, some of them were very unintentionally funny. The mermaid one in particular, if you don't recall that one, is so messed up and so dumb. Like, I know what they were going for, but it like just didn't work. Suo and Jun were isolated. Agree. Actually, well, Suo actually wasn't. Suo was actually tied in with the... I forget her name. The blind mage. He shows up in hers before he ends up getting killed. Suo is just mermaid. Yes, the blind mage is the singer. Yeah, I'm thinking with Suo you mean General So, who has the red helmet. Unless you mean somebody else. But yeah, Jun's isolated. I feel like some of them give you like a feel for the land that they're from, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But unfortunately, I feel like there's just not a lot of interaction with those areas. Like we mostly played around near like Arngrim's homeland, which is fair, but I feel like dungeon-wise or anything else, we really had like no connectivity to like, for example, the city to the southwest in the map, or even to some extent, like Monkrell. Like, we didn't really do too much of Monkrell. We went there for like 2 or 3 stories, maybe, but a majority of them were literally elsewhere. So I don't know. I feel like that could have been cleaned up a little bit. I think that the period system is fine. I think it gives you way too much time, honestly speaking. So I guess if people were really struggling, you could go back and level in dungeons. I will say, from a dungeon standpoint, before we start going into the bad, I really think every single dungeon should have had the ability to leave it as soon as you beat the boss. There is no reason the game should force you to go through the dungeon in reverse. There is no reason to do that, and that upsets me every time. So it makes dungeons that are already bad, like the Pachinko dungeon, extremely horrible, because you have to remember how to go backwards the whole map. I will say I don't find the map system very useful within Valkyrie Profile. It's kind of like a... I understand what they're going for with the 3D, but honestly, I just find it mostly confusing unless I have like the Eye of Heaven and I've been in the dungeon before. But there's a lot of times where I'm like looking at it and I'm like, I have to just keep opening the map constantly because it's like confusing because I'm going between like front and back of the map. So for the more complex dungeons, I'm like, okay, so this door went to which of the inner levels? And I have to like keep going back into it. It's kind of like a byproduct of making the map that way. Whereas like, if you play something where the map is more 2D and traditional, you'll know like, oh, you know, I gotta go up 1 room, left 1 room, up 2 rooms. But in this one, it's like, oh, I gotta choose like the middle-ish door, and then I gotta go right and then up and then left, maybe. And I always have to like stare at it a bit longer because of the fact that the map is non-traditional. So not a super fan of the map system. I mean, I'm happy it's there. I think we used it literally once. But other than that, just kind of hit or miss. Honestly, mostly miss. I think they improved it a little more in the sequel games, but kind of eh. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else positive or things that are like really close to being really good, but just need some small tweaks. Oh, I guess the good. I do find it very interesting to play the different melee characters. I do like that the weapons, how they hit, and how the characters actually attack do feel fairly unique. And I like that the Purify Weird Soul for the melee characters are extremely unique. So I like that portion of the combat. I will say overall the combat is definitely on the easier end. I find it always funny that the hard mode is the easiest game mode. I think easy is the hardest, and that makes no sense to me. But it's just how the game works. I don't know why. I don't know why they thought not giving you guts was a good idea in easy mode. I mean, to me, that's just like, oh, I'm like, okay, that seems really garbage, but sure. But other than that, in terms of combat, I like the juggle system. I like the guard breaks. It's like just mechanically complex enough that it's interesting, like choosing between whether to get the bonus XP or the purple crystals in order to charge to the Purify Weird Soul. I think it hits like just the perfect level for me. Like you could make it more complex, but I don't think it needs to be. I think it's just mostly fine as is. I do like that there's some melee characters that can also just get the instant guard break, like Llewellyn with the bow, for example, has the sprite attack, which ignores guard. And you can abuse that in the early portion of the game if you just want some really easy combos. Or we were using Gray towards the end of the game for his ability to just always start the combo, in case we end up not using a mage. So I think those are pretty good strengths of the game, and we talked a little bit about what needs to be cleaned up. So let's talk about what didn't work. I'm going to reiterate this again. The hard mode dungeons were not fun. They are not fun to play. They are mostly horrendous. There's a couple where I think they're okay-ish. Like, for example, the one with the sluice gate, I think was fine. I don't remember any major issues with that, and I think the mechanic of chopping the leaves, so you have to hop across them to cross the water gap, is mostly fine. But man, when they decide that something should be a hard mode dungeon, they really need to just not do all of that in one dungeon. I'm gonna bring up the Pachinko dungeon again. That is one of the worst dungeons we've played in quite a while. The fact that it's like so finicky with like the precision and where you need to fall, and then you need to memorize which one of the 3 doors in this room you have to go to. Then you have to remember how to get back to this room if you fail. And then you have things like you could just get teleported all around the place if you don't have Dimension Slip. Oh, actually, yeah, by the way, the only reason I feel like a majority of the game is playable with the hard mode is because you have Dimension Slip. If Dimension Slip did not exist in the game, I probably would not play it. I would be real with you, because some of those dungeons are just horrendous to replay if you can't skip the enemies. So I'm glad we skipped through most of it. I think there's some longer normal mode dungeons that I'm not going to say are confusing, but they are definitely much more complex, at least in length or time spent to resolve than some of the other dungeons, like the Tower of Blizzard. And I feel like the normal mode basically keeps it sane, and then the hard mode, they just decide the player wants to do really horrendous puzzles. And I guess if you're really into puzzles, that's fine. I am not. So trying to solve things like the Clockwork Mansion blind for me is not really a fun experience. I'm just kind of like, I know where to go. Well, actually, in the Clockwork Mansion, I didn't even know where to go in a blind experience. So I'm not even going to state that. I actually did not know what room exited. So I think that was a huge problem with the Clockwork Mansion blind. But a lot of them are just like so punishing. If you get the puzzle wrong, you basically just have to redo like a half hour or more of progress. Yeah, especially when you're trying to, okay, so this kind of ties into something we talked about in other games where puzzles are not bad if, and only if, you are not forced to fight things as you go through it. Because trying to remember and juggle new information, like, and some of them are quite complex, like a lot of new information. In trying to do that, the more you keep interrupting the player with enemies, the more it is you're going to forget, like, the order of what you're supposed to do things, or you're like, you know, if I go down, right down, and I get an item, and then all I have to do is, like, go up, right, up, and I leave, it's fine. But when you keep getting hit by enemies, you start to lose track of, oh, did I go down far enough? Did I go right far enough? Did I do this item before? And then, like, you kind of forget what the goal is. So I feel like whenever they start going really enemy happy with those kinds of things, it's really unfun. And speaking of unfun, one of my other most disliked dungeons in the game, and possibly of the entire series, was what was the place called? It was the place that holds it's like the Dragon Palace, the place where the Dragon Orb is supposed to be. Man, oh man, those sentry statues were garbage. I'm just gonna call it what it is, chat. That puzzle is such garbage. It is so punishing if you get like a mechanic wrong, and it mixes all of the worst parts of the game, which is kind of like on-the-fly momentum shifts to jump over the statues, mixed with a time limit to get through the door, or you have to reset the puzzle, mixed with, if you get hit by a statue, not only do you lose all progress within that dungeon, it sends you to a different area where you take damage over time, and there are constant enemies blocking passageways, and you just have to guess where the exit is. That is one of the worst mechanics in the game. I dare someone to defend it. It is such trash. It is such trash. And I was like, chat has seen me. I literally was like, oh, I messed this up. I'm soft resetting. It is literally faster to soft reset from the save point than to bother doing the thing it wants you to do to leave. Because, like, not only does it send you and do that, but that's like one of 5 different puzzles in that dungeon. You have like the tarot cards, you have the statue facings, you have the statue dodging, you have the marked doors that you have to figure out, and then on top of that, you have the gems and the elevator. So you have to remember all of these mechanics, because if you get tapped by the statue, you're gonna have to figure out what floor you were even on. So the map doesn't even help you at all in that scenario. So it's like, I have 6 gems in my inventory. Which one brings me to the place I want to go to is not a good thing, and they should not have done that. They absolutely should not have made you leave the floor that you were on. And the fact that you have to like fight your way just to get to a warp, to get to the elevator, to then figure out what floor you're on, just to walk all the way back and do the entire puzzle again. So bad. It was so bad. It was just so bad. I don't know what they were thinking with that dungeon. So I'm willing to state between that and the Pachinko dungeon were 2 of my least favorites. From a blind perspective, the Clockwork Mansion was probably slightly worse, because it's not like I could soft reset and redo it. It's just like I had to figure out what it wanted. So from a not being able to solve puzzles well, that also probably took me the longest time. Because I'm like, A, what room do I exit from? And B, how do I get it to rotate without getting hit? And then C, how do I get through? Oh, actually, you know what? That's another good point. That's another puzzle that wouldn't be so bad if it didn't require you to do really awkward momentum jumps. So people don't remember that from the playthrough. It wanted you to go from hanging on a ladder, or like climbing it, or hanging off a ladder into a full run off of it, so that you could skip over the water to reach the door. Because if you landed the water, for some reason you can't just do the short hop or use frost in order to pry yourself out of like a knee-high water to go to this door. And that is also pretty dumb. So like, and then you fall, and then and then if you miss the jump, and then you have to jump out of the water, which already makes your physics really weird, where it either halves your height or kills your momentum. Then you miss the ladder, and it rotates the room, and you got to do the whole room again. Exactly, Calpisium, exactly. So it's just like, you just kind of roll your eyes. You're like, why did they make this so inconvenient to do? It's one thing if you fall down the ladder and it didn't make you leave the room, but like every time you get to a ladder room, it always makes you leave the room if you fall down. So it's just like, not a good combination of things. So I think the hard mode dungeons are easily the worst part of the game. That's where, like, when people say, like, can I play the game, would I recommend it? My recommendation is actually to play it on hard mode, and to, if you're aware of what the hard dungeons are, to just straight up skip them. Exactly, annoying is not equal to hard. That is a great summary of that. So I feel like hard mode is actually the easiest time to go through, but if you don't know to skip certain dungeons, then it's just garbage. But you also have to go with the mindset too that you could just straight up not complete dungeons too. So I think, like, with that mindset, it's okay to skip the hard mode dungeons. Like, if you come across that nonsense, you just have to be willing as a player to say, you know what, I'm not going to complete it, or I'm going to go get a guide. If you go in with that mindset, the game is mostly fine on hard mode. Trying to think if there was anything else too crazy. I do think the dungeons were some of the worst parts, though. They're just kind of excruciating if you fail. Honestly, for the most part, I do like the game. Like, I will go back to it. I like watching the cutscenes again. I like most of the characters in it. I know Lady Loki likes Lizard. I don't like Lizard. I think he's just way too... Pervy's not quite the right word. There's a lot wrong with him. It doesn't help that he keeps, like, the naked women in the tubes thing, or his, like, lust for the Valkyrie. There's a lot wrong with the character. He's very creepy. So I'm like, I can't really get behind him as, like, a side villain, to be honest. We'll be seeing a little bit more of him in the bonus dungeon for people that stick around through it. But I think other than that, I mean, I like the character. I like the people that voiced Odin and Freya for the most part. I feel like Odin was probably a bit more in the background than I was expecting. So there's sea lap time, something like that. So we'll talk about that more, I think, in the post cutscene stuff. But I'm not going to talk about things in VP2 or beyond. I will state I haven't played the Game Boy game, so I don't know how much of that is actually referenced, or how much in this game is referenced in that one. Maybe one day we'll check it out. But other than that, I will state that it's like I give it like an 8. It's not like a perfect game for me. It definitely is very divisive with some of the difficulty, but I've learned to kind of like the quirks, and I think everything else with the game works, so I can kind of get through it. But it's definitely one of those games I don't want to play without looking at notes or guides. So if you're in the mood for that kind of thing, it might be too difficult on hard mode, so maybe you could play normal mode. I will state it's very easy to miss things like the creation jewel without a guide, and that makes a really, really big difference on how hard the game is. So I could see a bit more of a struggle if you fail to get that, because that stops you from transmuting a whole bunch of really useful items, including like the broken gear, into things like the Star Guard or like the Crimson Edges. So I could kind of go either way with some of that stuff. I do feel like some of those items probably shouldn't be missable, and I would have liked for those to not be so well hidden, given how gameplay impacting they are, and how vital they are at certain points. Because comparatively, we get artifacts from bosses, and some of them are just kind of lame. They're just there for point fodder. They don't really, literally don't do anything else. But I think that's about it from the Valkyrie profile standpoint. I don't think I have too much else to state. I'm just thinking right now. Yeah. I guess if I had to give a short opinion whether or not I prefer this one to the second game while keeping it within the video, I will say I did not like Valkyrie Profile 2 at all. It's kind of one of those things where I don't think I would ever go back and revisit it. So for people looking to get voice clips from it, I think I deleted everything as soon as we were done with the playthrough. So I was so done with the game by the end. But we'll see. I think we'll compare, I think, the bonus dungeons between the two games, because that's pretty not plot spoilery, I think, for the post-game content, because none of it is really canon anyway. So we'll do that when we complete the Valkyrie Profile 1 bonus dungeon. But I think for now, chat, we're going to end it here for the YouTube. So we'll give more thoughts and feelings if I remember something between the sessions. But I think that covers basically how I feel about the game. I really think this is very unique. I haven't seen a game like this, and I think this is what helps the game age mostly pretty well. And unfortunately, a lot of the other games just don't have that same magic, but it is what it is. So long, YouTube. We're going to be talking about spoiler things, and we'll keep it separate for people that haven't seen VP2.